Which of these 5 countries has the best policy for sponsoring parents for permanent residence and eventually citizenship? Australia, Canada, USA, UK, and New Zealand are amongst the top destinations for immigrants, but an important decision for some immigrants looking to move to these countries is based on the immigration policies of these countries to sponsor your close relatives, especially your parents. So today I'll do a quick comparison looking at 6 factors: PR options, total number of applications accepted each year, processing time, fee, long-term temporary visa options, and last but most important, the selection system. Let's start with the first category, PR options. Australia has 4 types of PR visas for parents, and these are further divided into contributory and non-contributory visas. Both PRs and citizens can apply for this option. New Zealand also has a parents resident visa. Both PRs and citizens can apply to sponsor their parents just like Australia. USA also has a PR option for parents, which is known as the petition for alien relative. Within this category, you can sponsor your parents, but only US citizens can file this petition. PRs or green card holders cannot do so. UK does have a PR option for parents, which is known as an adult dependent visa, but it is very hard to get, as we'll discuss later in this video. Finally, Canada also has a PR option for both parents and grandparents. So I'd say Australia seems to be the winner in this category if we only look at the number of options available, and Canada takes the second spot since it allows both parents and grandparents to be sponsored, and you can sponsor them even if you are a PR and not a citizen. So Australia wins the first one. We have a few more to go. Moving on to the second category, which is number of spots, that is how many people can you sponsor. Which country has the most number of spots or allows the most number of parents to obtain their PR? This year, Canada has sent out invites to 24,500 sponsors, that is Canadian citizens and PRs, to invite their parents, and the goal is to accept at least 15,000 complete applications. They send invite to more people as a significant number of applications are incomplete and thus returned, or those applicants just don't qualify. Canada is going to accept a total of 465,000 immigrants this year, so 24,500 invites is about 5.3% of the total volume. Australia's quota is 8,500, or 4.5% of their target of receiving 190,000 immigrants this year. So Australia is going to receive less than half the number of immigrants Canada is receiving, but in terms of percentage for parents visa, they're quite close to Canada. But the clear winner in this category is USA, as they have no cap on this category, which means theoretically 50,000 or 100,000 American citizens could sponsor their parents if they wanted to. There is no cap, which is amazing. So USA is the definite winner in this category. The third category we're comparing is processing times for parent sponsorship programs. New Zealand seems to have a faster processing time of 1 year for their tier 1 applications. In practice, Canada's processing time is usually 2 to 3 years. In exceptional circumstances, it can be 1 year as well, but 2 to 3 is the usual range for Canada. UK, however, has a very fast processing time of 3 months, but this category is very difficult and only a small number of applicants are chosen. So I'd say New Zealand is the winner in this category. The fourth category we're comparing today is the application fee. In terms of fee, Canada has the lowest permanent residence fee at just $1,080 plus $85 for the biometrics fee per parent. So Canada wins this category. By the way, Australia's contributory parent visa category, which is supposed to be the faster category with a processing time of 12 years, you heard that correctly, 12 years, not months. This so-called category has a processing fee of $48,000 per parent. So if you want to sponsor both of your parents through this faster stream, you have to pay close to $100,000 and then wait for 12 years. I think the real number last year was about 6 years, but on their website they're saying that from now onwards it will be 12 years. $100,000 and 12 years. So Canada is clearly the winner. The fifth category is longer term temporary visas. So if there is no option to sponsor your parents for PR, what else can you do? And this is very interesting because there is a tie between Australia and Canada, as they both allow parents to stay up to 5 years per entry. But the Canadian super visa is much cheaper at only $185 including the biometrics fee, whereas the Australian visa costs $5,735 per parent. So I'd say Canada is slightly better here. The last category is really important, which is about the selection system for parent sponsorship. This has been a source of great frustration for many Canadians, especially those who have been trying to sponsor their parents for several years. Currently, Canada has a lottery system or a random draw system, which has been closed to new sponsors since 2020. And in 2020, there were around roughly 200,000 sponsors who filed the interest to sponsor form for their parents. And each year since 2020, on average, 15 to 20,000 parents have been invited. Thus, there are a lot of Canadian citizens and PRs waiting to sponsor sponsor their parents. In Australia, you can apply anytime, but you get placed in a queue and overall processing time can be 12 to 29 years as per their government's website. New Zealand has expression of interest draws every 3 months, and in USA, one can apply anytime. So I'd say USA is the winner in this category as well, as you can apply anytime. There are some additional factors to consider also. Let's call it the 7th miscellaneous category. Each country has certain nuances in their programs. Australia has a balance of family test, which means that at least half of the children should be Australian citizens or PRs, or there should be more children living in Australia as citizens or PRs than any other single country. The way I interpret it is that it tests your ties to Australia. So if a parent has stronger ties to Australia, they qualify, otherwise they do not. For example, if a parent has 2 children living in China and 1 in Australia, the Australian child cannot sponsor them because their ties are stronger to China and there are more children in China to take care of them. New Zealand requires a very high level of income to sponsor parents. The minimum income to sponsor both parents might range from 123,000 to 154,000 New Zealand dollars, which is quite high. Plus, the parents either need to speak English or they need to pay the government in advance for English classes. In the US, only citizens can sponsor parents, not PRs, that is green card holders. They cannot sponsor parents, and it takes about 5 years to get US citizenship, 6 if you include the processing time. But also, when you sponsor your parents, you cannot sponsor their dependent children, that is your siblings, in the same application. Mainly the long wait time for PRs to sponsor parents is a concern, so it can take some time, especially for US green card holders, to sponsor their parents, but it is still more certain compared to Canada. UK doesn't really have a regular parent sponsorship program. You can only sponsor your parents in UK in very exceptional circumstances. This PR program is called Adult Dependents Visa, which is for those parents who are dependent on you due to their age or medical needs, which means that you are unable to care for them while living in a different country. And this is said to be very hard because you have to prove that no other sibling or relative or nurse can take care of them. So it's more like a humanitarian program like Canada's HNC, not really a regular sponsorship program. Canada does have a minimum income requirement for the last 3 years, similar to New Zealand, but that varies based on the family size. If you're a family of 4 and you want to sponsor your parents, so you need to prove that you earned $82,259 last year. If your spouse is co-signing this sponsorship application, you can include their income as well. Alright, so looking at all of these categories, what would you say? Which country has the best policy to sponsor parents for PR? In my opinion, US is the clear winner here because they have no cap and one can apply at any time after becoming a citizen. Canada can be considered in the second spot as the application fee is low and the quota is higher than other countries, except US of course. They also have a 5-year super visa. The main drawback for Canada is the lottery system, which again leaves many people frustrated and angry because they're unable to sponsor their parents. New Zealand is a close third. They have fewer applications per year that they accept 2,500, but again it's a small country of close to 5 million people. But the higher income requirement, I think that is also a challenge. Australia, I would say, is at number 4 because of their super long processing time of 12 to 29 years and the crazy fee for their faster option, the contributory parent visa, which is at $100,000 for 2 parents. UK is at the bottom of the list since they practically do not have a category for PR, rather only a category for PR in exceptional circumstances. Let me know what you think. My name is Rashid Ali. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant from Canada, and in this channel I share videos on Canadian immigration. If you need advice for your Canadian visa or immigration application, book a consultation. I'll leave a link below. And if you're someone who's looking to visit, study, work, or move to Canada, or you're someone who's already here and now you're looking to support your friends, you can also apply to join our online community, which will be launching later this year. It'll be a great place to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself, share ideas, ask questions, and there will be an application process if you're interested. I'll leave a link in the description so you can apply for it. That's all for today. Take care.